Hey guys, my name's Mary Claire, and today's practice is going to be pretty relaxing. It's a practice I like to do when I'm feeling low energy or maybe a little anxious, but I still want to get on the mat and feel embodied and, maybe feel a little bit better. So we'll start today in a child's pose. So if you want to meet me on the mat, bring your knees wide on the mat and start to bring your hips to your heels and crawl your hands forward. Release your forehead down, and you can soften your eyes here or close your eyes and start to tune into the breath, breathing in and out through your nose, bringing the breath deep into your belly. Start to press into your hands and push your hips even further back towards your heels to bring some length down your lower back. Taking deep breaths into your belly and your back. I like to think of the breath as an anchor for the mind. So during practice, if you feel your mind start to wander, just gently bring your attention back to your breath. Take a few more breaths here. And then start to slowly walk your hands back towards your knees. You can close your knees together and bring your hands onto your thighs. Roll your shoulders down and back. We'll take some neck rolls here, so start to drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Option from here to start crawling your left hand out to the left, placing your fingertips on the floor. And then another option to bring your right hand on top of your head, just placing it there, not pulling or anything. Keep breathing. And then your inhale brings you back to center. And then let's swap it out. So left ear to left shoulder. And then start to crawl your right hand out to the right, bringing your fingertips to the floor. An option here to bring your left hand on top of your head, bringing length down the right side of your neck. And then your inhale brings you back through center. On your inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And then on your exhale, start to drop your hips over to the right and lean over to the left. Bringing your left hand down and your right arm up and over. Breathe into the right side of your body. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, come back through center, reach both your arms up, and exhale, start to drop your hips over to the left and lean over to the right, bringing your right hand down and your left arm up and over. Spin your chest to the sky and breathe. On your next inhale, return through center. And exhale, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Let's roll over our knees now and come into a tabletop position. So your shoulders should be over your wrists and your hips directly over your knees. Get long through your spine. You want to feel one long line of energy from your tailbone all the way out through the crown of your head. Engage into your core. On your inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, coming into cow pose. Inhale. And then exhale, round and contract, coming into cat. Push away from the floor. Inhale, cow. Arch your spine, look up. And exhale, round and contract. And a few more times on your own here. Finding movement, whatever feels good. Taking some barrel rolls with the spine. And on your inhale, come back through center into tabletop pose. Start to walk your knees back a little bit on the mat. And then walk your hands forward, coming into puppy pose. Drop your chest towards the mat. And then option to drop your forehead or your chin to the mat. Breathing into your shoulders here. Engage into your core. And then start to push into the palms, tuck the tailbone, and let that start to ripple up the spine, rounding into your shoulders. Drop your hips towards the mat, and then drop your elbows towards the mat. So we're coming into Sphinx pose. Find a right angle with the forearms and the triceps. Press into the hands, roll your shoulders down and back, and pull your chest forward through the gates of your shoulders. Breathe. Option to press into the hands and come into seal pose. If it doesn't feel supported in your lower back, let it go. Come back down to your elbows if you found seal, and lower all the way onto your chest. Bring your palms next to your ribs. Roll your shoulders down and back. On your inhale, lift your chest for cobra. And exhale, ripple your chest back down to the mat. 2 more times. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, release. Inhale, cobra pose. Hold to the top, maybe straighten out your elbows if that's comfortable for you. Take a few breaths. And on your exhale, let's come back to downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, lift your hips, tuck your chin. You can find some movement here, so bend into one knee and then the other knee. Just getting into this stretch. Getting length down the backs of the legs. Then find stillness. Press into your hands and press your heels down towards the mat. On your inhale, bend your knees. And then on your exhale, step your right foot outside your right hand. Drop your back knee and untuck your toes. Coming into lizard pose. You can spin your right foot out to the right off the mat a little bit if you need more space. You want to make sure that your knee isn't coming too far over your ankle. You're welcome to come up onto fingertips here, or you can use blocks as well. Pull your chest forward and send your breath into your hips. On your inhale, reach your right arm forward. On your exhale, twist over to the right, pointing behind you. Gaze comes over your right shoulder. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, twist. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, twist. Inhale forward, release your right hand back down, and exhale, start to shift your hips back, coming into sort of a half split shape. Flex into your right foot, fingertips to the mat. Find a bend in your right knee if you need. Try to keep your spine relatively straight here. Couple more breaths. Now rebend into your right knee, plant your hands, tuck your back toes under, and step back into a downward facing dog. Take a couple more breaths in downward dog, deepening in. On your next inhale, bend your knees, and exhale, step your left foot outside your left hand. Drop your back knee down, untuck your toe, coming into lizard pose. Deepen into the hips here. Pull your chest forward. Relax your face. On your inhale, reach forward. On your exhale, twist over to the left, gaze coming over your shoulder. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, twist back. One more time, inhale, reach forward. And exhale, twist it out. Inhale, come forward, plant your left hand back to the mat, and then start to shift your hips back to that half split shape. Flex into your left foot. Square off your hips here, pulling your left hip back a little bit. Start to deepen in. On your inhale, rebend into your left knee, plant your hands, tuck onto your back toes, and step back into a downward facing dog. Take an inhale in downward dog, and an exhale out your mouth. Let it go. Start to tiptoe your feet slowly to the top of the mat, bringing your feet hip width distance. And stay low. Clasp onto opposite elbows here. Let your head hang. And distribute your weight a little bit more forward into the balls of the feet. Tuck your chin. Start to sway from side to side, bending into one knee and then the other knee, encouraging length down the hamstrings. Maybe let some breaths out of your mouth. Relax your face, roll out your jaw, and then find stillness. Clasp your fingers at the bottom and bring your hands to the base of your skull
And start to gently pull your chin in towards your chest, feeling a stretch in your neck. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, soften your knees and start to slowly roll up the spine, articulating each vertebrae. Start to inhale here at the top. Open your chest, open your elbows. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin and then roll back down. Take an inhale at the bottom. And exhale again, rolling slowly up the spine. Inhale here. Chin and chest open last. And then release your hands down towards your sides. Linger here. Press into your feet. Roll your shoulders down and back. And just feel into any sensations in the body. On your inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, grab your right wrist with your left hand and start to bend over to the left. So pulling on your right wrist with your left hand, encouraging length down the right side of your body. Option to step your right foot behind your left to take the stretch deeper. On your inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, swap it out. So grab your left wrist with your right hand and start to bend over to the right. An option to weave your left foot behind your right. Inhale, come back through center. And exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, hands come to shins, lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Really pull your tailbone away from the crown of your head. Get long. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, fold. And step back to a downward facing dog. Take an inhale in downward dog. And exhale, release your knees down to the floor, coming into tabletop. On your inhale, reach your right arm up. And exhale, thread it through underneath your left, dropping your right shoulder down to the floor. Bring your left hand towards the front of the mat. Square off your hips. Bringing the breath deep into your belly here. Bring your left hand back in front of your face. Press into your hand, reach your right arm back up, and exhale back to tabletop position. On your inhale, reach your left arm up, open your chest, and exhale, thread it through underneath your right. Same thing here, drop down onto your left shoulder, crawl your right hand to the top of the mat. Square off your hips. Return your right hand in front of your face. On your inhale, press into your hand. Lift and reach, open your left arm up. And exhale, release your left hand to the mat. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips, coming back into downward facing dog. On your inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, left knee reaches towards left elbow, and then bring your shin parallel to the top of the mat. We're coming into pigeon pose. If pigeon isn't accessible to you,
Option to drop onto the left hip, keeping your left shin parallel to the top of the mat, and then bringing your right shin flush with the right side of your mat. Wherever you are, in pigeon or in deer pose, on your inhale, open your chest, and then option to start to crawl over your shin. Relax your shoulders. See if you can unclench somewhere. See where you're holding. Take a few more breaths here. On your inhale, come back up, tuck your back toes, and lift your hips back into downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow, and then drop your right shin down. Same thing here. Option to come into pigeon or option to come into deer pose, bringing that left shin flush with the left side of the mat. Square off your hips. Take an inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, crawl out over your shin. See if you can relax into your hips a little bit more. On your inhale, start to crawl back up to your hands and drop over onto your right hip. Bring your left foot around, so bring the soles of your feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. Grab onto your ankles or your feet. Sometimes I like to massage the soles of my feet in this pose. Feels good. On your inhale, lift your chest and lengthen your spine. And then on your exhale, start to hinge at the hips and use your ankles to pull yourself over your feet, keeping a long spine. When you've reached your depth with a long spine, then you can start to round over. On your inhale, come back through center. Place your hands behind you on the mat and plant into your feet. You can shift your hips forward slightly. On your inhale, reach forward. And then exhale, slowly, slowly start to roll down your spine all the way onto your back. You can shuffle your heels a little closer to your sit bones. We're going to take a bridge, so if you have a block available to you, option to take a supported bridge. But if you're with me here, we'll come into a regular bridge. So press into the heels and start to tuck the pelvis under and then roll up the spine slowly. When you reach your height, clasp your hands underneath you and then tuck your shoulders under. Keep pressing into your heels and press into your hands. Breathe into your belly. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then
start to untuck your shoulders, release your hands, and slowly roll back down. Lift your knees to a tabletop position, and then straighten your legs, coming into just a little inversion. Roll out your ankles here in one direction, and then maybe switch directions. Bend into your knees and grab the outer edges of the feet with your hands. Coming into happy baby. So pull your knees towards your armpits and keep your lower back engaged with the mat. Flex your feet. Option to find some movement here. From here, we'll release our feet and start to drop our knees over to the left side, coming into a twist. Keep your right shoulder engaged, and gaze can come over to the right if that's comfortable for your neck. If not, gaze comes up through center. Inhale, bring your knees back through center, and exhale, drop them over to the right. Gaze coming over to the left. Engage your left shoulder with the floor. Inhale, come back through center. Hug and squeeze your knees in. Bring your forehead up to your knees and start to squeeze everything into the center. So point your toes, squeeze your face, pull your knees in. Take an inhale here. And exhale, release everything long onto the mat, coming into Shavasana. Feet relax away from each other. Palms open up to the sky. Tuck your shoulders under to find a little opening of the heart. And close down your eyes. I invite you to stay here for a few minutes. And we can do a body scan together to really marinate in the effects of practice. Take a big inhale into your belly. And exhale, release it out your mouth. Allow your breathing to return to normal. Relax your toes. Relax the soles of your feet. Feel your heels in contact with the floor. Unclench your ankles and your calves and your shins. Feel your knees soften. Relax your thighs. Feel your pelvis melt and spread. Feel your belly soft. And your ribs open. Feel your chest rise and fall. Your shoulders relaxed in contact with the mat.
Feel your fingers curling in towards your palms and your arms heavy on the floor. Relax your neck. The back of your head is heavy. Unclench the muscles of your face, your jaw soft, your eyes melt, forehead spreads, even your ears, the top of your head. Allow yourself to feel held by the earth, because you are. Deepen your breathing. Find some movement with the fingers and the toes. And then when you're ready, slowly start to bring your knees back into your chest. Rock side to side, massaging your spine into the mat. And then with eyes soft or closed, make your own way back to the top of the mat in a cross-legged position. Bring your hands somewhere on top of your knees or your thighs. I invite you here to take a moment to thank yourself for showing up today and doing something good for yourself. It's not always easy. It's never really easy. So breathe into that. And we'll take one breath together. On your inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon.